Welcome back. U.S. Senate candidate and Republican Congressman Mark Kirk of Illinois is now apologizing for making inaccurate statements about his service in the Navy Reserves and incorrectly listing an award on his official biography. Here's what he had to say to the Chicago Sun-Times editorial board just yesterday.
I want to be very contrite and say that there was a casualness with which I sometimes describe military details. And if it gave the impression that my military record was larger than it was, I apologize. I simply misremembered it wrong. Quite honestly, my primary intention was in an utterly different place at the time that the award was issued.
NBC's Kelly O'Donnell in Washington. So, Kelly, he said he, quote, misremembered it wrong. Is that first of all, trying to figure out what that means, but also, does that get him out of hot water? He's in a tight race in Illinois.
It is a tight race, and this is really a problem different than what we saw for the Connecticut Democrat Richard Blumenthal, because Mark Kirk has tried to make his military service and his expertise on those sorts of issues really central to his campaign. So that is a problem. In addition, we're talking about a number of issues where there's either an inaccuracy or an inflation of his military record, and that can be problematic. We're talking about things like this award. He is describing an award that would have been bestowed to one individual by the Navy. He did not receive that. He did receive some other awards that were for him and his unit. So that's a distinction. Also said on the House floor that he had been shot at while serving in Iraq. There's a dispute over whether that is true. And he also said that he served in Iraq when he had actually served stateside during part of the Operation Iraqi Freedom. And so there are several issues where he is having to clarify this. And where it's problematic is that it was a part of his own public statements, part of his website, things that his campaign and his congressional office have talked about, and now he's having to scrub the record, try to clean things up, and to apologize. One thing he has done a bit differently than we saw from Richard Blumenthal in Connecticut is he came to the editorial board and he said he was sorry, but it is different in that at first Richard Blumenthal in Connecticut tried to surround himself with veterans and tried to make it just kind of a little slip up. This is a little deeper and therefore much more problematic for Mark Kirk. Cameron?
That is a big problem. All right.